So I wanted to do a quick demo here in light of finishing up my first couple of weeks of my Google Season of Docs project. One of the first deliverables I had to work on was an explainer video to demonstrate how the internet works. So the first thing that I did was I decided I wanted to create my own vector graphics for the animated video. All of the vector graphics that I created were done in PowerPoint. And a lot of these are really easily done. For example, if you look at this desktop computer, it's just a collection of shapes. And you can use a lot of different gradients and coloring to make it come to life. So I can do another tutorial on that another time. But for today's tutorial, I wanted to show how I put together the graphics with some sound and some animation and how I came up with a process that worked for me. So on this slide, it's demonstrating different types of client devices. So a desktop, a laptop, a tablet, and a mobile phone. So when you view this slideshow from the current slide.
Now, to understand how messages are sent and delivered, we will need to discuss a few other concepts. Your own device is called a client. This may be your desktop, laptop, tablet, or mobile device.
So notice that when the device, when it talks about the desktop, the laptop, the tablet, the mobile, each time that it brings up a device, the device animates. It pops up. It has this zoom in sort of animation added to it. So in order to do that, I base this on bookmarks in the imported sound. So some other tips for sound. PowerPoint has its own recording sort of feature, but it's very limited. If you start to record and you mess something up, it's very hard to cut the sound apart. So I did all of my sound recording in Audacity. So you may wonder, how are you going to be able to make the animations, have them start when you want them to based on what you're saying with the sound file. And that is all done in PowerPoint. So I have a slide here with my vector graphics. There's no animation, no sounds. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So what you want to do is click on the animations tab at the top. We're also going to bring out this animations pane. If you just click on this button, it pops over, and that will help us when we want to edit these animations. We'll click on our first animation that we'll be adding is the desktop computer. I'm going to click Add Animation, and I'm just doing an emphasis, so it's going to be a grow and a shrink. Okay, so that makes it grow rather large, and it's a little too much emphasis for me. So if you right-click on the first animation here, we're going to click Effect Options, and I'm going to click Size. I'm going to click Custom, and I think we're only just going to have this grow about 110%. I think that's pretty good size. So I'm going to click OK. It's a little bit slow, so let's try doing a little bit more here. So with the time medium, so that's a duration of medium, that's pretty slow. So let's try very fast with this one. Okay. And so then we just have the grow animation going on here, but we kind of wanted to go back and shrink. So let's go one more time into our effect options, and we're going to click auto reverse. And that should be perfect. So we just have it grow and shrink. Now a little trick here, what you can do is you can click on an object and you can click on this animation painter at the top here, and you can actually copy that over onto another graphic. And there we go. So I'm going to click animation painter again and copy it onto our tablet. And then finally, Animation Painter, and copy that onto our mobile device. All right, so for the next thing, we're going to insert our sound. So you want to go to the Insert button at the top. We're going to click Media. We're going to click Audio, and Audio on my PC. And I kind of already know where my sound is, so I'm just going to get to that. Here's my scene 7. So there's a couple things that we need to do with this audio. So I'm just going to move this down here. What we want to do is at the top here, the playback menu shows up automatically once we add the sound. So we want to click Start and click Play Automatically so that when our slideshow is playing, it plays automatically. The other thing we want to do is click Hide During Show. This way, this icon and the play bar do not show while we are playing. All right, so there's a few more things we have to do and we'll have this scene done. Now, what we want to do is we're going to be adding bookmarks into this audio file. And what bookmarks do is that we can use these bookmarks as triggers to start some of these animations. So I'm going to play through my sound a little bit.
Now, to understand how messages are sent and delivered, we will need to discuss a few other concepts. Your own device is called a client. This may be your desktop.
So I just paused at desktop here, and I'm going to click Add Bookmark, and let's keep playing.
Laptop.
At laptop, I'm going to add bookmark. We'll keep playing.
Tablet.
And at tablet, I'm going to add a bookmark. And then finally,
Or mobile device.
And at mobile device, I'm adding a bookmark. So now we have 4 bookmarks on this audio file. So the last thing we need to do is structure these animations to begin once it hits the bookmark in the sound. So let's click on our first one for our desktop, our group 3. We're going to do effect options. We're going to do timing, triggers, and click start effect on play of scene 7 bookmark 1. And click OK. And so we now just have to do that for the rest of them. And these animations, as long as you haven't moved them, will stay in order. And whenever you highlight it, you'll see kind of a orange rectangle next to the figure that it's highlighting. So I'll click here on my group 44 and click my timing, triggers, start effect on play of bookmark 2. And here, group 28, effect options, timing, start effect on play of bookmark 3. One thing to note in this menu that I find really interesting, if I added my 4 bookmarks and I realized at the beginning of the sound I actually wanted to add another bookmark, when I add in bookmark 5, if it in the play, like when you play the sound, if it comes before bookmark 1, 2, 3, 4, it will appear in between here. So if bookmark 1 started at 30 seconds and bookmark 2 started at 40 seconds, and this new one started at 35 seconds, my list would show bookmark 1, 5, 2. So they're always going to display in the order that they start within that actual sound playing. So we'll do bookmark 3. And then for our last one, for our mobile device, we're going to, long menu, right click, effect options, timing, triggers, start effect on play of bookmark 4. Okay. Perfect. So now we can see here that we have our sound and then we have each of our bookmarks indicating when that animation is going to start. The last thing I want to do is right click on my sound and I want to click start with previous just to have the sound start from the beginning. So now let's view our slideshow and see how it looks.
Now, to understand how messages are sent and delivered, we will need to discuss a few other concepts. Your own device is called a client. This may be your desktop, laptop, tablet, or mobile device.
Perfect. And you can always play around with the timing. If there was a bookmark that you didn't like, you can click on the sound and go to the playback tab at the top. You can click on a bookmark and you can do remove bookmark. You can always add new ones. So there's definitely a lot of different things you could do to get the timing exactly how you want it. But this was the method that I used to create my animations for my explainer video. Some other things I did would be to add transitions between my slides. And then finally at the end, it was a very easy export to make it an MP4 video where it could be distributed on YouTube or any other video repository. You just click File, you click Export, and create a video. And then you can choose the style, the size that you want, Full HD, HD. And then one other thing that I did, and I'll have to create another video on this, is using recorded timings and narrations. You can set up your slides to have timings based on what you are speaking. So based on the amount of time that the sound plays for. So that way you can allow for a second of silence at the beginning or ending. And I did use that. I'll have to demonstrate this another time. But if you were just creating a quick video with a few slides, you do not need to do that. And you can click create video and save the video in a number of formats. All right, so that's kind of an update on what I'm working on. I definitely learned a lot over the past 2 weeks. This was the first time I created a video, so I really enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something from this tutorial as well.